No surprise that we're talking about this man again on your screen, F2TEKKZ, the man that obviously #1 on those Xbox rankings, Richard. Over 7,000 Global Series ranking points he's already accompanied to his name, and he'll be looking to go to 10,000.
Yeah, he's just been fantastic, really, throughout the year, has Tekkz. He's been consistently brilliant from the first qualifier that he had all the way to right now. But that man on your screen, Resende, he's a grand finalist.
He's a grand finalist.
He's done the, you'd say, the hard work. I've just got a feeling with this 3-5-2 that we could potentially be seeing Tekkz going out at a semi-final. He's been to all the FUT Champions Cups thus far. He's been in all 4 semi-finals thus far. He's won 3.
Yep.
The one that he lost was against M10RESENDE in Bucharest in January, and that was his biggest defeat that he's ever suffered. He lost 7-1 in that game. And I just feel like the way that M10RESENDE played, it was very attacking. It was a very much a sort of aggressive performance. He put him under pressure early on, and he went 1-0 up. That's the key to beating Tekkz. You have to put him under pressure. If he gets that first goal and can dictate the pace of the game, dictate how he wants to play the game, you're going to lose. Look at Marcos Gomez yesterday. Look at Stokes. When they went down, he just kept holding the ball, and he frustrated his opponent to making mistakes.
And of course, wherever you're watching from around the world, I know it's pretty late in the UK if you're a Tekkz fan. I'm sure he'll be over the moon that you guys are staying up to support him. Well, here we go then. Our final day here in Singapore. 8 players remain. 62 arrived just 2 days ago. Swiss-style format, quarterfinals, and all the knockout football that's been played up to this date. And we'll be taking through every single game. Semi-finals from Xbox, from PlayStation, console final from both consoles, and then the cross-console as well. And it will be Tekkz with the first shot of the game into Kylian Mbappe. 2 green time shots, but both of them not even troubling David De Gea.
Yeah, no, out in the players' warm-up area a little bit earlier on, both of these players warming up against fellow countrymen. Tekkz having a few games against Spacey in the warm-up area, and it was actually Resende in an aggregate game, a 2-legged game against Senna. So both of these players, they've warmed up, they've got no excuses early on, and it's going to be the 3-5-2, which is the fascinating aspect to this game. He's almost breaking the meta, that's what we've said Resende's doing. He's not in a 4-2-3-1, he's not in a sort of standard formation. He's using those wide players.
And he's trying to change the game as well. That's going to be his first shot of the game, Richard. No time finishing needed at all there from the Brazilian that is ranked #6 in the world over on Xbox. 2014 Global Series ranking points to his name. And of course representing M10RESENDE's esports organisation, M10, and someone else that's in the latter stage of this competition from that organisation too is Houston. I'm sure he'll be in the building somewhere supporting his teammate. He's up next as well in our next semi-final. But the question is, Richard, you said about it trying to break the meta. When we say that, obviously 4-2-3-1 is kind of the meta formation as well, some people would say, or the kind of way to play. You can fit your 2 CDMs in there, the Vieiras, the Hullits, whoever you want to mix them up. Resende's done different. He's come into this, he's played a 3-5-2 that no one's expecting. Just look at the numbers back now. Tekkz is going to try and break him down again, but that's twice now. There always seems to be someone there to block the ball. Yeah,
and that's what a 3-5-2 does. It's a very defensive 3-5-2 that he's playing. You can see in the final third, he's only got 3 players attacking. That's his Cam, Johan Cruyff, Pele, Ronaldo. And then he builds into the attacks. He gets Mbappe, he gets Marcelo forward. He gets them in wide areas. And he always seems to have got the extra man out wide.
This is Resende's turn to have an attack. He already had 1 shot that did flat save from the Spaniard, David De Gea. Mbappe, and as you said, it's tough. There's no one really forward from him. He has to get people forward. Johan Cruyff a starter for him as well. Obviously that prime icon moment. Marcelo into Mbappe. Now this is the first game of the day if you have just joined the stream as well. We're live from Singapore once again. And of course you guys can come and watch in person. Pele now, that was time green again, another block.
Yeah, really good start to this game as well. End-to-end FIFA early on here in Singapore. And you see that defensive 3-5-2 coming out once again. Ramos coming across as his left centre-back. Hullit and Vieira, they've almost dropped in now. And it sort of turns into like a defensive shell, like a 7 at the back. It seems to have got right there.
Of course, it's hard not to look past the achievements of Tekkz. And other people were just talking about him saying, is he the best player we've ever seen today? Is he?
That's
just unstoppable.
Yesterday on Twitter, a lot of people chiming in, who's the best? What clarifies yourself as being the best?
It's definitely an argument to have because obviously you go back a few years, 2004 was when the FIFA Interactive World Cup kicked off. One big tournament a year with $20,000. Now kind of the ecosystem's completely changed, and there's more tournaments now, or an ultimate team, there's more players. But when you get that World Championship title again, you know, you can't be looking past a lot of those guys at the same time that have won back-to-back ones as well. But certainly this man is up there. And if he goes forward and continues dominating like he is this year, he's definitely going to be going into the history books, if he hasn't already.
The question that a lot of people have been asking is, what actually makes ThTekkZ so good in the game itself? Because in terms of the ability in the game, I was talking to Spacey, I was talking to a lot of the other players, and they were saying it just seems to have, it can be playing bad and just still create something. And when I was chatting to him earlier in that warm-up area, his self-belief in his own ability is off the charts. He said, I was the best player last year. I just didn't really get the opportunity. There weren't that many events. There were only 3 majors. There was the playoffs, and if you didn't play well at the playoffs, that were it. Your season were over. So in the tournaments that he participated in, he won one of them in his first ever tournament. The confidence that he has is unbelievable. And this year, he said that he's got more tools at his disposal to be able to utilise with. The goalkeeper movement, the timed finishing, the custom tactics. He's got more control over the game, where he can dictate the things. And just given the ability that he has, that is what he thinks has set him apart from everybody else.
And of course, we saw over the last 2 days, set pieces, he's been not too bad as well. A few corners he's scored from as well, maybe a few free kicks as well, something off the training ground from the Englishman. Obviously, part of the F2 freestylers, they picked him up. I'm sure it was probably one of the best decisions ever, getting him on their roster. First esports player. As he tries to defend this attack now, though. This is Resende. This is a golden opportunity!
That is that extra man that we're talking about. Mbappe getting down the right-hand side. In that 3-5-2, you're always going to have an extra man. And it was Mbappe on that occasion. Just played the ball all the way across the pitch. Very similar to what we saw, I don't know if you remember back in the day, like Air Japes. He sort of originated this 3-5-2 where you move the ball across the pitch and you've always got the extra man there. In previous FIFAs, it was the meta, the 3-5-2. And then recently in the more FUT Champs era, we've seen 4-2-3-1 used. Right now, Resende is bringing the 3-5-2 back into the spotlight.
As we said yesterday, we kind of went, have you been practicing with this 3-5-2 much? He was like, no, my first event I played with it. So obviously a big risk for him, but he's had an interesting season as Resende. Of course, he does lead 1-0, but his last 2 FUT Champions Cups, his last 2 majors, he's gone out in Swiss-style format. 2 wins, 3 losses, and he's coming to this one with a completely different attitude. 4-1 through Swiss-style format, and just hasn't looked back since. Added time of 2 minutes, and it was Mbappe that opened up the scoring. ThTekkZ will have other ideas, though. Do not write this man off anytime soon. And there we go. Half-time between the two. Again, nothing to really separate them. They both had a few chances. Possession's quite fair as well. I don't know
if you look at a lot of ThTekkZ's actual individual results, though. Usually it'll go down in a game. It'll usually go 1-0, 2-0 down. We saw it against Jazz. We saw it actually a couple of times in this tournament against Jazz. We've seen it throughout different tournaments. He goes down and then comes back into the game.
It was like a running joke, wasn't it? He kind of has to go down to wake himself up.
Yeah, I don't think that's it personally. I think that's why we have a 2-legged game, so people can get back into the game. They can almost work out your opponent, work out what they're doing. You saw him checking the 3-5-2 then to clarify to himself, yeah, I know my opponent is playing the 3-5-2. And he's probably going to analyse what he's doing over the course of this leg, over the course of the next leg, and try and just pickpocket and exploit the spaces in that formation. No formation is perfect. Every formation, every tactic
has a weakness.
And you just have to be able to exploit it and hope that your opponent doesn't know your own weakness.
Of course, it is the Brazilian that is in the lead here at the moment. And if he goes and wins this, a huge opportunity for him to jump up, as we said, into a console final to the back post. That was Cristiano Ronaldo lurking around up against Marcelo, who's now out of position. It's going to be Van Dijk. Hard to look past as well. Obviously the season, sorry Richard, that ThTekkZ is out. Obviously, big Liverpool fan, and he will be representing them in the EPL finals at the end of March. Obviously another one of these licensed leagues that are part of the Global Series, and that was a story and a half, wasn't it? Winning the FUT Champions Cup #4 in Atlanta, flying back to Liverpool, and without an hour's sleep, still somehow managed to go and win that event. I've literally made the joke of give him any console, anywhere in the world, he'll go and win the event.
as this game does go on, you have to start to question, will DhTekkz change formation? Will he match up the 3-5-2? A lot of people say the only way to really play good against the 3-5-2 is to match it up and to play the exactly the same formation against each other and just let the better FIFA player win over the course of the 2 legs. Or does DhTekkz back himself that much in a 4-2-3-1, in a 4-2-2, we've seen him switch to that in the past, to get the result back on track?
I think it was a great example, she said, against NHJazz yesterday, who did his country proud and his organisation proud, but DhTekkz still, when he was pegged back, he still came forward, and that's just going to be just to the left-hand side of DhTekkz's goal. And a warning sign for Resende to say, all right, you might be playing this 3-5-2, you might be quite defensive at times, but I'm still going to get chances.
That's nice to play out from the back there, to be honest, from Resende.
Ronaldo.
All the way from the goalkeeper into the attacking third, and good tracking back there from DhTekkz, but it just shows the confidence that Resende is playing with. Not a lot of people actually pass it out from the goalkeeper. A lot of people will punt that long, look for Ronaldo, look for Hully in the midfield to win a flick on to bring it down. Resende just passed it out from the goalkeeper, quite a risky move, and then played down the line.
It's often said as well that if you can know where your players are going to be positioned with your instructions you put on your players, sometimes you can go to your left or right back, depending on your formation, but him as a 3-5-2, there could always be an option on the left-hand side and the right-hand side of the field. There's a pause cued by F2TEKKZ, which obviously signals he's not happy with something, wants to make a change.
Yeah, it'll be I'm not too sure if it will be a sub. I'm looking at the stamina bars of a lot of the players. Maybe try and bring somebody on just to freshen up in the attacking third, but that pause going to come in. 68th minute on the clock. Vieira off, Modric on, a little bit more creativity in the midfield, a little bit more of that attacking edge over Patrick Vieira, and that'll be the only change that he is going to make at this moment. Probably looking at that central cam, maybe bring him off as the game does go on.
Of course, on the other side of that, Resende, we can't really see what he's doing. You see he was matching up the formation that we're looking to match, obviously, what DhTekkz has done, and obviously not too much other than some fresh legs on in the middle of the park. Luka Modric brought on as well. But still, the score remains at 1-0. We still have a second leg to play. Let's not forget about that. Eusebio
introduced for Resende as well, so does he feel like there's a little bit of blood in the water potentially? That he can bring on that attacking player, get a second, get a third goal to take him into that second leg potentially.
Well, here's Resende in possession now. We said our first game of the day, our first semi-final of Super Sunday here in Singapore. So patient in the build-up between those two CDMs. It really is a guessing game. Which way is he going to go? When's he going to go forward with it? But there's no rush for him. He's 1-0 up at the moment. I doubt that's going to be the final score, and over the 2 legs, I can assure you on that. But as long as Resende's got the ball, DhTekkz will not be panicking him until he's pulled out the man. He's looking to do exactly what he's tried to do now. Mbappe!
A really good bit of play from Resende. Just keeping the possession on the edge of the box, waiting for the movement from DhTekkz.
David Hayes has been pulled out the line there. It's been a few times now. He just failed to collect the ball, and although he got something on that one, lucky enough for him, it does fall back in the end.
Almost looked like he weren't going anywhere with that possession. It was Hully to Vieira, Vieira to Hully, Eusebio back to Vieira, and then with 2 passes, he's in. He's had a shot on goal, and it was a good save from De Gea to keep this scoreline at 1-0 for the Brazilian.
Kind of gets to a point, doesn't it, when you keep it between your 2 CDMs?
That you just rush out as a defensive player.
You're just like, come on, I'm not going to just sit here and let you do this for like 10 in-game minutes. I've got to come out, I've got to press you, and that's exactly what he did. I think Neymar was pulled out of position, and there was the shot from Mbappe in the end. Lucky enough it was a save, and now it's DhTekkz's turn to maybe register one of his last attacks of this game. Neymar into Hully. He's so good going forward. And
good goalkeeper movement. It was a great time shot in the end, so the time finish didn't actually come off for him.
Corner played short. Be careful, do not dive in. Resende there, lucky enough for him. It's going to be Marcelo that does win that.
Yeah, I'm not sure. He might have gone home after knowing he's playing DhTekkz in the semi-final, looked at what he's been doing from set pieces. So he almost read that El Tornado straight away. He didn't dive into the tackle. He just sort of stood there and went, yeah, I'm going to wait for the flick up, and then just came away with the ball. A very professional performance from Resende so far. He run the cosh in the first 10-15 minutes with the chances that DhTekkz was producing, but since then, he's held all of the ball. He's made DhTekkz come at him. He's frustrated the Englishman, and a 1-goal lead is his reward, potentially going into that second leg.
Of course, it feels like there's some sort of game plan to follow with for Resende. He's got that goal, and Pelican looked after the ball so well. I'm looking forward to seeing that pass and accuracy stat. If we can see it at the end of the game, it's going to be in the high 90s, surely. Has not given the ball away easily, has he? Always an option. Always so calm in the ball. And you know what they often say when you got up against a player that loves having the ball, loves creating chances, just do the opposite. As you say, just starve them of the ball. Do not give them the ball at all. And you could just imagine how frustrating it must be. Oh, there's a mistake.
Who's Ramos going to get there?
Ramos. He had to take the shot. Ramos was just running in with a massive tackle. Mbappe did get the shot away, but again, it was a grey effort on a time for Nets that wasn't even registered, as you mentioned. That's going to be half-time, technically, across this leg. And Resende, here we go, then the second leg of our first semi-final here in Singapore. So much FIFA action today. And, of course, at the end of it, we'll be crowning a champion here in Asia. 1-0 the score to Resende. Of course, that's only half the story. You said, Richard, an early start could be big for ThTekkz. An early goal could be big for him because that's what we saw last game. Obviously, he didn't have kickoff in this one, but in the last one he had kickoff, and that gave him the opportunity to look after the ball slightly, have 3 time green shots, but defensively, Resende's been superb. And that's what that 3-5-2 is going to offer you. He's just offside there.
First 4.5 minutes, Resende just looking to get back into his groove, looking to get back into that possession style of play, that calm style of play where you can pull the players out of position for ThTekkz and then exploit the space in behind. Even at 0-0, Resende looks pretty comfortable. It looks like he's I often say the phrase, some players don't play the match and they play the occasion. Resende is doing the complete opposite. He looks very calm. He's just facing what's in front of him. He's taken the name away. He's taken the accolades away from ThTekkz, and he's just playing the man that sits opposite him on the stage.
Of course, there's only a 1-goal difference between the two at the moment, which I'm sure could be changed in seconds as ThTekkz does come forward now. Cristiano Ronaldo into him. He's got to be careful. Straight into the feet of R9. He tried to shield his man, and it's going to be Marcelo that just got slightly carried away, dabbled a foot into the tackle, and now he's just given away a penalty. Genius,
just to hold the ball up there.
And up comes ThTekkz now, and it'll score. There's that lead wiped away straight away as well. 10 in-game minutes gone. And Ronaldo fires straight back for ThTekkz. Game on.
How many times you see the ball going to ThTekkz there and it's a drag back? It's a little shape on the ball and then a low-driven shot. That's what he's been doing. That's one of the goals that he scores most often. The ball into his striker and then a little movement, shoot straight away. Maybe he's almost second read that and gone, you know what, he's expecting me to move. I'm just going to stand here. I'm going to wait for the contact. It comes in from Marcelo. He gets the penalty. He dispatches it. And we're back at a 1-all scoreline. And they're the things that set him apart from everyone else. He's 2 steps ahead.
Of course, we saw a really exciting game yesterday. I think it actually might have been Resende where there was all these penalty shouts and similar situations like that where people are in the box, they're trying to do a drag back up against whoever their opponent is and just kind of getting baited into making a tackle, expecting there to be some kind of contact. And we saw penalties given, penalties waved away. Resende's turn to attack now. This game is all a piece at 1-1. You just have to feel that goal just lifted a bit of pressure off the shoulders of ThTekkz. Will Resende be able to respond?
This sort of game right now, I'd say, plays into the hands of ThTekkz. He can dictate where he wants to go. He knows he only needs 1 goal to see him through right now. The best potential position you want to be in against ThTekkz is just attacking. Just out-and-out attacking. What did Goal Machine do when he beat him? What did Nicholas Razek do when they beat him? Just attack, attack, attack. Just keep the pressure going forward. No backwards motion.
Keep the goals flying in as well. There's ThTekkz, and just like that, literally like a magician, pulled the rabbit out of the hat, out of nowhere. 22 minutes on the clock, and it's not going to be Cristiano Ronaldo this time. It's going to be R9. He's an icon for a reason. He's a legend in the game.
That's the difference between this leg and the first leg. He weren't greening those shots. Was ThTekkz. He's actually rifled that into the top left corner and sees himself into the lead for the first time in this series against M10RESENDE. And now does Resende start to think, is the 3-5-2 the right option? Do I change?
Of course, because he has to come out and attack now, doesn't he? He can't really sit back, control possession as he did before. I think you hit the nail on the head there, Richard. You literally said, obviously, last game, he didn't really have many opportunities to time the shots green. And the difference there, it was quicker. He didn't have any time to defend Resende, which just played straight into the path of R9.
And this is what ThTekkz is wanting to do right now. When you're playing against the 3-5-2, if you can have that lead, you can keep hold of the ball so well. Just constant switches of play. I imagine this is going to go all the way up to the fullback. Yes, it is Sergio Ramos. And then he's just going to keep in this sort of cycle of play. Just keep hold of the ball. Do whatever he needs to do to win the game. Whatever it takes. It doesn't have to be pretty. It doesn't have to be attractive football. But it's winning football.
Because he is in the driving seat now and he leads by 2-1. And proves once again, whether he's 1-2-0 down, 9 times out of 10 he'll come back or at least put up a fight. He's turned around the game here in the semi-final stages in Singapore, wins this, goes through and gets himself 850 Global Series ranking points and moves up to $7,500. He walks away with his ThTekkz again. Now this time it's Mbappe, that team of the year. It goes all the way across to Ronaldo. This attack isn't dealt with. Go Neymar this time. It's time green again. And it's into the back of the net again. 3-0. How a game of FIFA can change.
In 34 minutes, he's taken this game, almost snatched it away from Resende. Kept hold of the ball really nicely, moved it down this left-hand side. Neymar, a big influence in the goal. So the first goal that he scored, he got the penalty. He waited for the contact. That's the little switch of movement that we're talking about. You often see him move the ball out of his feet and then shoot straight away. That's what he did from there with Neymar. Maybe Resende was expecting him to stand still and waiting for that contact to come in. He switched the ball so quickly. The ball's in the back of the net before you can even think.
Well, it's not 2-1 anymore. Finds himself 3-1 down. And as you said, Richard, is it time to make a change formation-wise at half-time? It's first event here with a 3-5-2 formations. We've kind of been saying changing the meta, stepping away from the 4-2-3-1 that everyone seems to follow. But once again, a lot of the time, I'm sure the 4-2-3-1 will come out on top from what we've seen in previous events. Resende's turn to come forward now. Look at the numbers back for ThTekkz. Those 2 defenders, even Neymar's getting back to defend there. This is liquid football off the bar.
Lovely bit of play from Resende to open that opportunity up and then just cannon it off the post. One of the big things that it potentially could do at ThTekkz, you can see the spare man, it's always Marcelo, it's always Mbappe. If you can get them cams and just sit them in, maybe put them on come back while attacking.
We've kind of said it best, Richard. It just kind of sits like a triangle, those 2 CDMs with a Neymar in front, or whoever's playing in that cam role, who just drops back, adds that extra man into the kind of defensive side of the midfield. Even though it's an attacking player like Neymar, he can get involved and just disfigure the formation slightly. Added time of 2 minutes here, and we'll be into our last 45 in-game minutes. So our first semi-final from Championship Sunday here in Singapore. We'll find out one name that will be in that Xbox console final. Half-time here, and it has really been a different story compared to the first game. Dominance. It just shows what 3 goals can do for you.
Dominant performance from ThTekkz in that first half of things, and you see the formation change from Resende, switched into a 4-1-2-1-2. Changes are being made right now from Resende. He has to go more attacking. It feels like the 3-5-2 wasn't really offering him the options, and is he potentially playing into ThTekkz's hands right now?
Of course, the 4-1-2-1-2, very narrow. Depending, obviously, on how that 4-2-3-1 can work. Very balanced. It can go out wide if you want to. You can push your cams out. We see how wide the likes of Mbappe can get sometimes. And even we can see here, Marcelo getting so wide as well. Neymar into Hullet. This is ThTekkz now. If anything, get yourself a goal. And no matter what formation you're playing, you're going to be 4-1 up. I'm sure that'll knock the confidence of Resende even more. It's that 2-goal advantage moves to a 3. He's only 2 goals down, though. We have to repeat that.
Just gone offside there. How's Mbappe? I think he's actually playing up front, Mbappe, alongside Ronaldo now that that formation change has gone out, probably. Marcelo gone over to left back. Looks like Pele is the central cam. Hullet and Modric, the left centre mid, right centre mid, and Vieira doing a job as the CDM.
Neymar, and again, it's time to perfection. And Mbappe, he's in the team for a reason. He's got all this hype for a reason as well.
I mean, I'm asking a lot of question marks against the goalkeeper right here. Looks like it's gone straight through him. You have to save that. It's not in the corner. It's straight down the middle of the goal. You simply have to save that.
You're asking questions. Why have you not just gone with your hands?
Yeah. And does somebody like Van der Sar go with his hands there? You know, David De Gea often goes with the feet, goes with the legs.
I've seen a different side to David De Gea this weekend. Of course, still a starter for a number of people. And you look at the in-game stats, the ratings, of course, the overall stat of the card. It's hard to look past him. But definitely, you would be suggesting, why have you not gone with your hands there? He's gone with his feet, and maybe the shot just came in slightly too fiercely for the Spaniard. 97 overall, unfortunately, though. Going to concede that one, and that's conceded 4 in this game. Resende has his turn at goal, but
yeah, good bit of keeper movement as well from ThTekkZ, just to move him across.
That's twice now, and there's De Gea.
Completely missed that one. Big difference between the first leg and the second leg. ThTekkZ's timed finishing, everything's been green. This game, you saw a couple of greys last game out. This time round, green all the way. That shows what the difference it can make.
And of course, that first game, he just simply wasn't letting ThTekkZ get any of those shots away, because every time he did time in green, there was someone to block them and to ensure the shot wouldn't come through. Into our last third of this second leg. ThTekkZ is well in control here. 4 goals to 1, he leads. Modric into Mbappe, overlapping run, and going to play to Sergio Ramos. And he will win a free kick. Look at the concentration from ThTekkZ on the left-hand side. He knows this is far from over, even though he's 4-0 up in this game, 3 goals up on aggregate. He's going to do everything he can to continue scoring. Ball falls back, it's going to be offside anyway, so chance again.
This is why FIFA's a 2-legged format. So over the 2 legs, most of the time, the player who, you'd say, would you say the better player comes out on top? In a 1-legged game, sometimes it can just go against you. You can get the
say if you're not scoring
chances going against you, and you can be a little bit nervous. Over a 2-legged game, people tend to just sit into what they know better. They'll be more composed in the second game. The nerves will start to clear. And you tend to see the better player take advantage of that second leg.
Pause choose by Resende there. Ball just going to come off the leg of Sergio Ramos as well. But of course, whoever goes out at this stage of the competition, they've already got themselves 625 Global Series ranking points on top. So I think that will kind of mix up those Xbox rankings slightly. I think Resende will certainly be going up a few spots. He'll be on a total of, I believe, 2,639 Global Series ranking points. $2,500 to his name as well, as we look forward to, kind of as we said, the latter stage of the season now.
This will put ThTekkZ over 8,500.
I think he'll be on, 850 plus, obviously this. Yeah, he won't be far off it. 8,500, he won't be far off it, maybe 100 or so more. But Richard, he can still go and win the whole thing. If he wins that, he's looking at over 9,000.
Yeah.
Which is just frightening. I've made this joke as well that he can honestly be making like a world record attempt for the first year Global Series rankings. Like, it will honestly be one of those that someone will try and beat in future years. And I mean,
I don't know if anyone will beat it. No one.
Because you've got to win at least 3 for Champions Cups.
You've got to be unbelievable throughout the entire year. And you see people, they'll peak at different times. As we were saying earlier, I feel like I'm repeating myself, consistency. No one's ever been this consistent over this amount of top-level events.
Of course, you heard the guys, obviously, on Certain Gaskin speaking about it yesterday, obviously 9 consecutive semi-finals, which means that across LQEs, obviously the FIFA E-Club World Cup, like all the events, majors or minors, he's been making at least a semi-final. Of course, we know he's obviously won a few events this year. The LQE in Bucharest, he won that. FUT Champions Cup #1, FUT Champions Cup #4 in Atlanta just a week and a bit ago.
We're sending a change formation right now. I think he's on 3-1-4-2. Very attacking formation.
Of course, this is for a spot in the console final, the Xbox console final.
He's looking to get back into this game, whatever it may take.
That's a little mistake there from ThTekkZ, in fact. Going to pull out a foul.
Big slide tackle from Rio Ferdinand. Rio Ferdinand still in the team. Almost Mr. Consistent at the back.
Prime book.
Rio.
With a yellow card, so 90 overall, and that's surprising. Obviously, there's a lot higher in-game stats on a lot of centre-halves, but it's one of them. Personal preference. He's played a lot of games with Rio Ferdinand as well. Kind of backs him, as you said, Richard.
If he does a job for you, why change it? Unbelievable pace, defending, physicality. He can also play the ball as well. That's a penalty.
That's going to be a penalty. I think he's gone shoulder to shoulder there, but referee says different. It was just like a basic scoop turn there from Mbappe.
Now, this is a chance to get back into the game for Resende. 20 minutes left on the clock. And it could be a potential 2-goal deficit for the Brazilian.
Scores this. He's only 2 goals behind and he's missed it. Falls back off the post. I don't think it's going to be his day.
Yeah. Sometimes you can tell that it's just your luck's not in. And that ball just off the keeper. Good save from Tekkz. He read the goal. He read the penalty well, and then smashed it against the post on the rebound from Ronaldo. It feels like deja vu. So that Tekkz is on his way to another console final.
Of course, if anything, he'll just be looking to manage this last 15 in-game minutes or so. With that scoreline by 3 goals and more. If Resende scored that, we would have had 20 in-game minutes to try and pull back 2 goals. Which, of course, would be better than 3, but he missed that. Great save from his David Gea. Tekkz's goal. Ball fell back to Cristiano Ronaldo, but that just ricocheted against the post and straight back into the hands of the Spaniard. Tekkz's turn to come forward now. Looking for goal number 5. Just remember as well, Tekkz did not score in that first leg as well. Yep. We lost it by 1-0.
That's why FIFA's played over 2 legs as well, because every single game can be different. The first game, Resende got that goal and then just kept the ball, sat men behind the ball and almost just dug out a 1-0 win. In this second game, Tekkz got the early goal and just motored on after that.
Just never looked back since he's been, well, if anything, the first half has kind of shaped this game for Tekkz. Here comes Mbappe now. Pulled 2 men out of it. Brought in Cristiano Ronaldo as well. Just look, everyone hunting the packs there for Resende, but Tekkz still was just about holding the ball. He's giving it up now, and if anything, we're just waiting for this clock to run down. I just doubt in 7 in-game minutes from what we've been commentating on throughout this year. 3 goals against a player of Tekkz's caliber when he's in this much confidence. You can't really look past him.
Yeah, the saying once again, don't bet against Tekkz. Seems to be coming up trumps once again.
Ronaldo from distance. And if anything, just wait for the added time, wait for the whistle. I think Resende knows it's over. Headsets off from him. But you have to give a lot of respect to Resende. Obviously came through 4-1 on Swiss style format and tried out this new 3-5-2, which has been great to commentate on, been great to discuss on the panel and obviously on the commentary couch. Unfortunately, when you come up against a player this good, you can't write him off over 1 leg, over 2 legs. It's a completely different story. Ronaldo, no, I'll tell you what, finish it in style, why not?
Yeah, nice little finish from Resende there. I think he wanted to play the ball out to Marcelo originally, and then the opportunity arose. El Tornado volley into the top of the corner. But it's a consolation goal at that. I was
going to say, I'm sure he's looking. Is there a prize for goal of the day? Goal of the day? Is there a prize for goal of the day? Some extra Global Series ranking points, maybe? El Tornado finish there from Cristiano Ronaldo. That'll make it 4-2 on aggregate. Added time of 3 minutes. Congratulations, Tekkz again.
The 4th official has indicated there will be a minimum of
the breakfast story continues. The Tekkz breakfast is it just seems to be working for him.
Yeah, we might have to make the Breakfast Club featuring Tekkz.
And there we go. Job done for the Englishman.